Audio check. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I can count to 10. One, two, three. 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 Fetch enter. One, two, three, four, five. Audio check. 1, 2, 3. Hello. 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 5Gen is not working though. Audio was doubled. Really? How come? How is that possible? One, two, three. Is the delay still there, or? Hello. Should really be any delay here now. um, better now? Still double audio? Is the audio echo gone now? I think I changed something. Echo's still there. So what is causing that? Never trust a Bluetooth headset. Wow. Working on some settings now. It's really weird because I can't hear it. Are you sure you don't have? Are you sure you're not having the Twitch window in a double browser? That's what usually happens if you are open the same channel on two different browser windows. Because I can't hear it on on my, if I listen to the play reader the stream audio, I can't see anything. Try closing your browser and opening it again. Maybe you have the double tabs or something. So, if the audio is still there, I can try and talk about what I'm making. Oh. Bluetooth interference like crazy. I was hoping this headset would work fine, but I guess it doesn't. So right now I'm using a 4mm 2-flute end mill, and I'm cutting something called valchromat. It's like a colored MDF. I think I need to put a limiter on my audio. Well, that was a noise gate, not a limiter. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. No. Now it's switching to do some contour cutting of the Voronoi patterns. I'm actually my phone is going. I'll be right back. Audio check. Sidechain is a no-go, apparently. So right now I'm cutting, with a 4mm end mill, and I'm not using a vacuum cleaner on the inner pockets because the pieces I'm cutting out is so small that they will get sucked up and get stuck inside the vacuum tube pipe. So it's a little bit dangerous because some of the pieces being left behind on the table there, they tend to fly. They tend to fly like bullets. So I actually have a crack in my window here from the last time I did that. So I actually have reinforced my window. There's actually double glass here now. I have a normal window on the inside, and there's a plexiglass on the outside that goes up here somewhere. No, it's not worth having tabs because it's a pain in the ass to remove all the tabs. Remove the rest of the tabs. So no, it's not worth it. If you can cut without tabs, just do it. But if you have to do it, then then I have your answer. But normally I just leave the vacuum cleaner off, and if it's a 19 millimeter piece of MDF or whatever, plywood or something, then it's enough dust left in the cutting area to keep what's being cut in place until you kind of take it apart, so it kind of stays in place normally. But this time it's an 8 millimeter piece, so I can see some trouble coming here. I can see the pieces being thrown everywhere. Actually, I can switch to the camera. Maybe we can see it. Oh, my stream deck just turned off. What? I have to do it the manual way then. It's a little bit hard to see, but I can angle the top camera a little bit. You can see some pieces flying. What's going on? All my USB cameras are flipping out. Small CNC. Not sure. You can drop a link to the just in the chat. No problem. I think Nightbot won't freak out. Hopefully. And I can check it out. By the way, I built a cabinet for storing acrylics and MDF in full-size sheets down there. I haven't had time to put the spacers in, but all of these are full-size sheets you can cut, and it's a really nice thing to have storage for these things because they float around everywhere. And when you have storage, you can kind of keep smaller pieces, and when it comes to laser cutting, even this little tiny part can come to play when you have the right thing to cut. So yeah, definitely worth checking into. Building a proper storage area. So I have a full-size 80 by 60 centimeter sheets there. I have a half-size sheet above, and I have made spacers. It's hard to see, but there are some systems for putting spacers in between the shelves. I think I need to turn on the vacuum cleaner. Making a mess. Why is my NDI? 60 by 40 work area. 1.5 kilowatt water cooled spindle is probably fine. I think I have a 3 kilowatt. I think it's 3 kilowatt. It's a water cooled spindle as well, and I have a chiller water cooling system connected to it to keep it cool, and that works like a champ. I used to have just a bucket of water and a pump, but that is not a long-term solution. You have to change the water frequently, and it doesn't really keep the thing cool. It just kind of helps a tiny bit. So buying a proper cooling system for the water-cooled spindle is a definite must. So I have a chiller, the original chiller, not the China, what do you call it? Rip-off. With a, it's called 5200 5200. I use the same. I have two of them. I have one for the laser cooler, laser cutter, and one for a CNC machine. So discard attachment. Cool. And that looks like a decent CNC. It's aluminium and what's the? It's probably a control box to the left there. There's even a water cooler, I guess, on the over there. That's nice. You will have some proper fun with this. It's a. It looks like it's all aluminium, and then it's able to cut pretty well. I need to turn on the. It's always fun when you can hear the bigger pieces going into the vacuum cleaner. It goes like dunk, 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 dunk. Yeah, but lead screws is brilliant because they have a lot of torque, and also they have lead screws is a better solution for resolution than a rack and pinion or other types. So my CNC is rack and pinion, so you can actually see it. Maybe, come on man, my Stream Deck has just. Oh, so it is working. Sorry. I thought my Stream Deck still wasn't working. So you can see the black. It's very hard to see, but I'll try it. The black line there, that's a rack and pinion system. So it's actually toothed gear going downwards, and then inside that green box there is a large NEMA 23 stepper motor that actually goes just a spur gear into that rack and pinion system from the bottom side. And the resolution on that is not as good as using it on what do you call it? Lead screw. Yeah, with the proper cooling, you will be able to cut aluminium. Just go tiny steps, like a 0.1 millimeter at a time or something. And then depth of cut is your enemy when it comes to cutting aluminium. The proper speed is very important. If you go too fast, and then you just melt the aluminium into the end mill, and if you go too slow, then you break the end mill. So it's kind of, you really have to work on your feeds and speeds to get that working. And of course, you need to have a proper cooling system. A friend of mine that cuts a lot of aluminium, he uses only, what do you call it? In Norway, we call it rødsprit. So, yeah, it's just a type of alcohol that's not drinkable, and you can buy it on every car shop and whatever. This vaporizes very nicely into the air when it gets hot. So, and it takes the heat with it. So when you cut the aluminium, then the heat goes into the red, let's call it red fire spirits or something. And then that gets vaporized into the air, and the hot temperature gets removed pretty nicely with that, without having flood coolant, because flood coolant is the other option, and you're constantly pouring a lot of water into it. It won't accept G code. Jesus. To be honest, I wouldn't bother making your own. Just buy something off the shelf and use all that extra time you get from not doing it yourself on making stuff with the CNC instead. You have so much other stuff to do. Please don't make everything from scratch. It's a pain in the ass, and it's takes all the time away from you. Trust me, I know, because I used to do that myself, and I just realized that you kind of have just that many hours a day to do something, and if you use a large percent of that hours just making the stuff that is supposed to make stuff, then you're not making stuff, you're just making tools. And if you want to be a tool maker, that's okay. But if you want to make stuff like I do over here, then you're supposed to have then you're supposed to just buy the tools you need to make the stuff and then just make the stuff. Yeah. Complicated is sometimes fun. Sometimes it's just a pain in the ass. So these are Voronoi patterns. I'm just going to turn off the text on that OBS layer. What is my bot complaining about? Oh, I did something wrong. Alright. I have to have it moving with my makeshift controller. Something is making the wrong type of noise here. It's so easy to break off the bit when you do the type of milling I'm doing right now, because when you use the vacuum cleaner, it sucks the small pieces you can see there into the let's call it the vacuum tray, the white thing that holds the hose, but it doesn't go all the way up the hose and into the vacuum cleaner. It's like a 3 kilowatt vacuum cleaner, so it should be able to pull anything in there. It's just a matter of space, I think. But yeah, just Steve, just trust me. Just buy a CNC controller off the shelf that supports Mac 3 or Mac 4. If you're starting from scratch, just go for Mac 4. And just do it. You're gonna use so much time. You're gonna use a year to build a controller from scratch with just the hardware PCB stuff, and then start programming it, and then just using half a year on error searching instead of CNC milling. Yeah, but it doesn't. It's like as you said, it's like a $200 investment, or in pounds, it's like well, what's that in pounds? It's like 170 pounds or something. Where are you euro now? Yeah, that's cool. So let's see. I'm just reading your Discord message now. YouTube live stream. So are you planning? We can just talk about it here. Do you want to do it live, or like we did last time, or like in? How do you want to do it? Do you want to do it like an interview and edit it, or just do it live stream and do it? So you call it in Norway, sent og glemt. It's like transmitted and forgotten. Live on YouTube. Yeah, sure, we can do that. We can maybe, if we can prepare some questions beforehand, it's a little bit easier for me to answer because my English sucks. So. So these Voronoi patterns are generated in Fusion 360 from my Voronoi sketch generator. If you are using Fusion 360, I think you are, and if you haven't downloaded that Voronoi sketch generator, do it because it's freaking awesome. They have fixed it recently, so it's easier to use, and you can import into sketch dimensions that you already have. So in this design, these walls being cut out at the moment now. These are the actual inner walls of a DJ flight, so it's easier to see when it's finished. But the cool thing is you can fit the Voronoi patterns into like a square already drawn sketch. It's much easier now than before. So update the sketch generator if you have it. Yeah, thanks. Oh, you can hear those sounds. So easy to break a bit when you're doing this. It's really not the preferred way, but it's better than, all of these small walls have, I think it's like 50 pieces of circles in each wall. Imagine sitting there carving off 2 or 3 tabs at every circle times 50 times 5. There's a lot of tabs to file off, so I'd rather just break a bit. But yeah, we can do a live stream at some point. To be honest, my schedule is pretty crazy these days, so but I'll look into it. Yeah, I keep out of the way. Out of the way. So I think I have protected myself good enough now because I'm sitting in another room physically, and there's like 2 layers of window in front of me. So we'll see. Learn by doing, or learn by failing. That's my motto. Learn by failing. Humans are made to fail. And then we learn, and then we nail it. So is night time the best time for you? Is it? Are you thinking of the normal stream schedules, or on the stream schedules you have on Twitch, or are you thinking something else? Yeah, definitely. That's true. Yeah. I have so much valchromat everywhere. It's crazy. I have my this is 1.5 meter wide in that way, and it's completely full of sheets now. So I have to place them outside. So I have so much pieces of valchromat everywhere inside the other room. It's it's I have to throw something away. Too bad you're living in England, or you can just come here and pick up some pieces. So nighttime during the week. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's look into it. I think I need to fix my audio before. I have a lavalier microphone set somewhere I can use. It's much better than this horrible Bluetooth thing. I bought it a couple of days ago. I was curious because finally I found a headset that had a Bluetooth microphone with a flip-out holder. But unfortunately, Bluetooth audio sucks. So yeah. Digital to physical. Yeah. What we could do, we have to prepare something in beforehand. If we are going to do a live stream and actually build something from scratch up enough, then we probably will have to kind of cheat a little bit to make it fast enough, because the milling takes, I don't know, half an hour, an hour. We could, let's say if we do a live stream and actually we decide on make something on stream, right? But we kind of before the stream what we want to make. So we kind of make a sketch-ish out of it beforehand. Then we can go through all the different steps on the stream because we can kind of CAD it. We can CAD a version of it, and then we can go directly into the CAM in Fusion and see how we program the CNC. And then we can jump straight into just pushing play on the Mac 3 software, this one, and then just run the code and talk about it, talk during the cutting, and we can kind of watch it cut like we do now, and then we can try and assemble it. But it will definitely take at least, if it's a small part, maybe half an hour. If it's big stuff, then it's longer. And then will it take some time to kind of assemble it afterwards. And yeah, I think the first live we'll do is a Q&A, meet the maker, and then take it from there. Sure. No problem. I think I need to do some vacuum cleaning. Just turning on. So, CNC machining Voronoi part is a very, very tedious task. You have to cut not that fast because the end mill will break, because you want to have some fine details, and finer details means smaller end mill, and smaller end mill needs longer time to mill. You can't go as fast. And when you have a lot of contour holes, all of these holes has to be cut individually, and then it takes a lot of time for the machine to move into each hole, and then do maybe 3 or 4 passes into each hole, and then you have to apply kind of take into account all the amount of holes. And it takes a lot of time to mill Voronoi. But it looks freaking awesome when it's finished. I'm very curious about the microphone audio if I go into the other room. If it picks up the CNC or if it just kind of focuses on my voice. So I'll just do a quick test now. It probably can't hear me anymore. Can you still hear me in here? It's a little bit more noisy in here. It's like almost 100 decibels of milling stuff. Yeah, I can still hear me. So my plan is to sandcast some aluminum in blacks. So my plan is to sandcast. You can't hear the machine. That's perfect. Oh, that's good. That's a good thing. Guess the microphone is so bad then. Okay. Sandcast aluminum in blacks. Okay. To go on the CNC and then finish the shape on the CNC. What do you mean with sandcast? I don't understand that word. So can you still hear me? Can you tell me what sandcasting is? Is that like cutting or sandcast? Melt aluminum. Oh, all right. Yeah, making it the hard way. I get it. You love making stuff the hard way, right? I get it from a price perspective. But the amount of money you use on the R&D and just building a caster and then all the gas. Yeah, I'm not sure what type of melting you use, but probably propane or butane gas or something. And then, no comment. I would just buy it aluminium. Ah, right. Then it makes sense. So right now I'm streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. I'm not streaming to Facebook at the moment because, the problem with people watching on the YouTube stream, they can't see the Twitch chat, and the Twitch chat cannot see the YouTube chat. I used to have like a chat overlay on the stream a couple of years ago, but honestly I think it looks so freaking stupid because when you're in a chat or when you're on a stream on Twitch, then you already see the chat on the right side of the screen if you want to, if you're not doing full screen. And it feels so freaking weird to see it double, if you know what I mean. The only reason for doing that is to kind of confirm how big the latency from the viewer to the streamer is. And after you figure that out, it's just a pain in the ass. Yeah, the chat overlays. It's almost like I used to, until recently, I just used to kind of comment, kind of read every chat comment on the chat, on the stream. It's like, I trained in sandcasting when I was a kid, coming home to my roots, and then I would answer. But it's like everybody already know the question because they saw it on the freaking chat. So just save the time. Just do the answer. Hey chat, I can read. Yeah, exactly. I feel so many streamers do that. I used to do it myself as well. Sometimes I even do it. It's like I have to just realize that people can read, and they read faster than you because when you stream, you have so much other stuff to think about. Yeah, the things you're doing on stream. You have to consider the technical part of the stream, and then you have to consider reading the chat and interacting, and then actually thinking of answers and kind of ways to kind of entertain people. And that's at the same time as reading the chat, so the viewers will definitely be super much faster than you, and they will have much more sophisticated questions than you will be able to answer. Because the only thing they're doing is watching and chatting. You're doing all the other stuff. What? What happened? What happened to Nightbot? Jesus. Why are not... hang on. Oh. Nightbot is so much fun sometimes. Oh. Look at that. Sorry. How do I turn that off? I'll just make you moderator or something. I'm logged in as Plenitude. That explains a lot. That's why I can't do anything to the chat. But Plenitude is a moderator, right? Screw it. I can still read your chat, so So why did the Nightbot freak out? Is it... I think you wrote too fast or something. Stop spamming symbols. Nightbot, go take a break. Where did I put my... Uh-oh. That noise is not good. Oh, it's so dangerous to metal small pieces because they fly up. Where did I put my protection glasses? I had like 4 pieces of protection glasses with me out in the garage. I probably forgot them in the hallway. Yeah, there's a lot of things to think of when you do streaming. And yeah. Another thing that happens a lot when you stream, you read the chat too fast. I'm guilty of doing that all the time. And what happens then is you kind of read the questions and you read them the wrong way and you answer the wrong question. Or you're not understanding what the audience are saying to you. So you're kind of answering the wrong things. And it's so hard because you really don't want to do that, but it happens all the time anyway. So it's a part of having too much things to think about. What happened to the focus here? Is it better now? Yeah. It needs a plugin. Yeah, all controller needs a plugin, USB plugin to work with Mac 3. I had to reinstall manually a device in Device Manager, a plugin, to get my Mac 3 controller to work, and it was built from the factory. So VFD, yeah, you definitely need a VFD. Pokey's 57. I heard about that. Never tried it, but I heard about it. I used to have a robotics CNC machine, and I had a what are they called? I don't remember anymore. Robotics. The Robotics made the hardware, and then somebody else made the controller. I used to make, and that didn't work with Mac 3 at all. So I had to use another CNC software. Yeah, probably sell it. Yeah, and maybe, or just start off with what you have, learn, evolve, and then move on. I would do that. It's a lot of work to understand the CAM part of CNC machining. It goes very fast when you're kind of interested in it, but you have to just do it. You have to put in the hours, learn, fail, and then do it again. Yeah. And the most important thing you can do with CNC machining is feeds and speeds. So feeds is the feed rate of the machine, how fast the machine is moving, and then the speed is the speed of the turning spindle and the router or the end mill head, and getting to understand the proper movement of the machine in terms of the RPM of the spindle. Those two things are very important to understand. the faster the machine is moving in the X and Y axis and the Z axis, makes a lot of more push to the material. So you actually pull. This CNC machine weighs 1,500 kilos, 1.5 ton, and it's able to actually push a 19 millimeter MDF straight off the table, tearing off all of the holders, the clamps I'm using to hold down to the machine, to hold the MDF down. It can basically just push the entire sheet of material just straight off the table because it's so strong. But when you have the proper RPM on the spindle, then the spindle just throws away any material that comes in front of it when you're moving at the correct speed. But if you're moving too fast, then you're pushing the material instead of cutting it. So it's you just have to learn. I would start with a 4 millimeter straight 2-flute end mill. Just go on eBay and buy the China ones for they cost usually like 20 pounds for a 10 pack. I can show you a box. I can also send you some links later on Discord if I remember. So straight cut. No up cut, no down cut, no, just straight. I love straight cuts. What I'm using right now is the straight flute. So I just found some stuff. So these packs of straight end mills. These are actually 3.115, so they're 1/8 of an inch. But I usually buy these ones breaks all the time. If you go up to 4 millimeter from 3.5 millimeter, 3.1 millimeter, then you stop breaking bits and you can push them a lot more material, and the diameter of the bit is only increased by less than a millimeter. So in terms of concerns of when you're cutting a 90-degree corner with a circular bit, then you will have a fillet in the 90-degree corner afterwards, and the size of the fillet will be the size of the radius of the bit, because that kind of decides how big the radius will be. But the 4 millimeter is small enough that you will not notice it on stuff. And straight cut, because if you're not able to clamp down the material to the machine good enough, then a upcut will actually lift the material up to the spindle. It will actually pull. It tries to pull the material up, and a downcut will push it down. And the bad thing about downcuts is that they will push all the chips, all the dust down to the material that's just been cut instead of throwing it out, and that will in turn that will keep the heat inside the material and not get the excess heat thrown away like you should. When you see people milling with like a Haas machine or Tormac or whatever, the awesome CNC machine doing steel and whatnot, steel, aluminium, and all that crazy metal cutting, then they always make sure that end mill is throwing the pieces away from the machine as fast as possible. So the speeds are very, very, very exactly calculated. You have to use calculators for this stuff. You can't just wing it, because then the heat will not get thrown away, and the heat will stay inside the component or inside the bit or both, and then you will have trouble. Downcut is, some people swear to downcut, some people swear to upcut, I swear to straight cut. I've been milling quite a lot, and the best for these types of routers, this is not a CNC machine, this is a router. It's basically not as detailed as a, so this is a straight flute. Sorry about focus. So what this does, it doesn't pull it up, it doesn't push it down, it just leaves it. And then the vacuum cleaner just pulls it out. And even this one makes a pretty nice flow of chips being thrown out of the piece itself. So try straight flute first. When you get that working, try upcut. When you get that working, sure, you can try downcut. But upcuts are a pain in the ass sometimes, because if you haven't mounted the piece properly to the machine, then it makes a lot of mess very fast. So hang on. So now, yeah, usually downcut is made. Jesus, now I used 1 hour on this. Well, it was supposed to take 1 hour and 45 minutes the entire thing. So guess that the calculator is off by so now. Yeah, downcut is specific use case. If sometimes you prefer cutting downwards for different reasons, cheap evacuation or heat or whatever. Sometimes the material just wants to be cut that way. But I'm no expert on this. I just, of course, I have a lot of upcuts and mostly upcuts as well. But and the bigger end mills I use, like the 10 or 12 millimeter end mills, they are always upcut because I need to throw away the material so fast. I'm not sure if you saw I cut like 15 sheets of valchromat a couple of weeks ago, 19 millimeter thick valchromat, and I cut that with a single pass. That's the first time I did that. So only one pass across the table with a 10 millimeter end mill, and that was crazy. It turned out to be a very, very nice cut, but yeah, that was a lot of chips moving very, very fast. There's actually a little video clip of that on Instagram. If you go to CNC Garage on Instagram, I think there's a comment for that on this nice spot. No, I guess not. Yeah, I haven't bothered much with the Nightbot command. Maybe I should. So, start with straight 2 flutes. Also, another thing to take into account is the amount of flutes your cut is using. Never buy more than a 2 flute, because it means that you have to go slower, and that your spindle doesn't handle lower than probably, I don't know, 7,000 RPMs or something. Then it loses all of its torque, so it's not able to push as much material as it's doing on the faster RPMs. Mine is most happy around above 12,000 RPMs to 18,000 RPMs. That's the limit on mine. If I do 5,000 RPMs, then I have almost no torque left on the spindle. And when you use a 3-flute end mill, then you have to slow down the RPM to match the chip size. So if you use a 1-flute end mill, then you have to go 3 times as fast as when you do a 3-flute end mill. So a 2-flute is kind of a nice way in the middle. So you can just write down this if you want. If you buy a 4mm straight 2-flute end mill, like I have, the RPM I'm running right now is, hang on, we'll check. I'm doing a little bit fast now because I usually do around 14,000 to 16,000 RPMs when I'm moving at almost 3,000 millimeter per minute. So, but the Fusion will calculate this for you. So a good starting area would be 12,000 RPMs and maybe 2,000 millimeters per minute in MDF for plywood. Yeah, but you have to test these things and test them out. Do the calculations. There's calculators for calculating feeds and speeds. Try them out, learn and understand, and do several cuts to the same material, because a material is not just a material. Every material has a different type of density and structure and hardness. This is a kind of hard MDF. It's almost like something called HDF, high density fiber, not medium density fiber. It's 30% stronger than normal MDF. So it demands a little bit higher RPM to cut than soft wood, if that makes sense. So what cutting length? As long as you need to, but as short as possible. Because this is a good example. I have a crazy bit here. This is it looks like a 10 centimeter. This is a 4mm end mill, or maybe it's 6 actually. Anyway, but this is crazy long. And the reason for that is that because for a specific job I did, I had to go deep into the material. But normally you never buy this stuff. Normally you buy as short as possible. I usually buy a 20, what are these? I think they're 22mm cutting length. So almost just about 2 centimeters length of cutting area on the bit, like the top area on the bit. And that's because I mainly cut 19mm plywood MDF valchromat. So I have to cut. Whoa! Gee, I almost got hit there. Too bad we missed it on camera. There was a chip flying directly into the window. Oh, too bad. Well. Hi there, Raz. Nice to see you. Yeah. Anyway. So the reason for not buying the longest bit in the world would be that it flexes. The material is not strong enough, so when you push it down here, it bends, right? It bends. So you want to keep the bend as short, the length as short as possible, so it doesn't bend. Because bending is bad. Because when you do that, then you lose resolution and things get less accurate when you mill, right? Oh, come on, man! Everybody's calling me all the time. Call somebody else. Ja, det är lag. Det är You're not muted. Ah, no worries. Oh, it's just my dad. So, mill is getting along. You can see a lot of Voronoi patterns. But let's get back to this because this is important. As short as possible, but as long as you need to, right? If you need to cut 19 millimeter deep, then you need at least 19 millimeter plus a little extra because you want to cut through the material and down into the spoil board, and not exactly. If you cut 19 millimeter deep with a 19 millimeter material, then at some point the material wasn't laying flat on the CNC, and then you didn't cut all the way through. So I always cut like a half a millimeter through. When I do designs in Fusion 360, there's some cool stuff happening in there now. I think I need to turn on the vacuum. I think I need a bulletproof vest or something. There's so many pieces flying around. Too bad we're missing it on camera. Yeah, cutting length, cut depth. Yeah, cut depth or depth of cut, as it's called. It's all sometimes shortened down to DOC, depth of cut. That is another discussion because that's how deep you cut every time you do a pass on the material. Like I'm doing here now, it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see the spindle going down in three. It has 3 depth of cuts here, and let's have a look at Mach 3 here. You can see this. These now it's cutting 9 millimeter deep. Now it's at 1 millimeter, the first pass, and then it's going down to 5 point whatever millimeter, and then the last pass is at 9 millimeter. And we know that this material is 8 millimeters thick, so we're actually cutting 1 millimeter below the material and into the spoil board underneath. But that's no problem because the spoil board I have on is a 3 millimeter sheet of MDF like this. So every time I cut, I go 1 millimeter, the 9th millimeter, the 1 millimeter into this material, and then when it's broken, I just throw it away. I buy these for around 150 kroner per piece by 2x4 meter by 1.2 meter. So 150 kroner is like €1. No, €10. 50, whatever. Maybe €12 or something. And that's just it's a calculated loss. You have to, if you're not using your spoil board and throw that away, then you're using your CNC machine and throwing that away, and that's more expensive, right? So think of it like protection for the CNC machine. Hang on, I'll read the chat there. Get that west. Russ is asking, if you don't mind me asking, what sort of price range is the Chinese router that size with delivery? Well, I can answer pretty fast on how much it costs to buy. I think I paid around $6,000 or something. I think it was, and that did not include delivery to Norway because they always say free delivery. all the Chinese people, the companies, not the people, the companies, they say, oh, it's free to deliver, but it's in fact it's not. So you have to, if you're not negotiating or using a company to import stuff into your country, there are companies that do this all the time, and they sort things out for you. They take a little piece of money from it, and then it makes your day a lot easier. If you're not doing that, then you're going to end up with a shipping charge that is huge because there is no, in fact, no legal determined price of what it would cost to import something to a country. In Norway, I won't go deep into it, but just make sure you use a company to import the stuff you're buying. That would cost, it costed me 20,000 kroner. That's like 2,500 euros or something. Is that missing a zero? No. No, that's fine. 2,500 euro in shipping, ish. And that doesn't include the VAT taxes, right? You still have to buy. You have to, when you import stuff, then you have the price of the machine, like $6,000 ish, and then you have the shipping charge, maybe 2,500 euro or something, and then you have the VAT. It's in Norway, the VAT is 25%, so it's 25% of the entire value, including shipping, I think, or is it excluding shipping? Yeah, I don't know. And then you have, I think you're good then. I think that's it. So you replace the spoil board every time. Not every time. The spoil board I have on now has been run. I have milled around 1.5 tons of valchromat the 2 last weeks on that spoil board. So it depends, right? The more you cut into your spoil board, the more often you have to change it. But if you're keeping, oh, I almost got hit again. Sorry. You need to keep on my camera because there's a bit spraying everywhere. So yeah, hang on. I actually have a vest that has press on it because it's actually raised press, Norwegian for news. You replace the scoreboard. No, I would not go for a 20 millimeter. I did that the first time. I still have some of the 20 millimeter spoil boards. The biggest reason for having bigger spoil boards are they cost a lot more money, and then you have to carve it down every time you want to reuse it. Then you have to do a planer mill on the surface, and that's a pain in the ass. Takes time, and it creates a lot of dust. And the 19 millimeter sheets are way more expensive than the 3 millimeter in purchase. And the last important part is that I'm using a what do you call it, vacuum table. So I have 2 large engines underneath the table that sucks air, and the air pulls down through the table, so it creates a vacuum. So it sucks the material piece into the table. And if you use a large, thick spoil board, then the airflow will be much not as good as when you have a smaller spoil board. Oh, come on, man. Everybody's calling today. sorry. Had to answer the wife. Where were we? Yeah, a vacuum table. Thicker spoil board is bad because not as good airflow, and it takes much more handling to use a thicker spoil board. Of course, it protects your machine more. So if you're a novice and don't know what you're doing, and you're doing too deep cuts, then the spoil board will kind of protect you more if you're doing deeper cuts. But if you're kind of getting used to doing it like I am, then a smaller spoil board is just fine. It depends. It's up to you. Oh Jesus, my chat exploded. Sorry. I just need to scroll here, or make it bigger. Yeah, what I do is big surfacing bit. Yeah, I used to do that as well. Just plain down the MDF. Yeah, it's not Hiven rails. It's a Chinese version of Hiven. Anything you buy in Asia is the non-cop trademarked Hiven rails, right? They're probably just fine, maybe a little bit crooked sometimes. I see everybody buying Chinese Hiven rails across the pond, and I see them coming home lousily packed. They just pack them in plastic bags without any protection, and when they come home, they're bent in all different types of ways. So Raz designed his own CNC. That's cool. For around 3,000 euros ish. Yeah, but it took a year. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of my biggest concerns is how much time do you want to use on making the tools you want to use versus how much time do you want to use making stuff. So if you want to be a tool maker, that's fine. A lot of people love making their own CNC machines. No problem. I can understand that. I also built my own as well. But the amount of time you use on that versus the amount of time you could have used making stuff, cool stuff, stuff that could have earned you money, that becomes a deal breaker almost instantly when you realize it. If you realize that building a CNC machine from scratch will cost you like maybe 200 hours, 2,000 hours of your work time, non-paid work time, that you could also have used the 2,000 hours for something else, been with your family, with do whatever, right? Use 2,000 hours on being great on playing a guitar, or when you realize how much time you actually have to put into a project to finish it, then you kind of quickly decide if this is something you want to do or not. And if at some point you decide that, well, I'm not a tool maker, I don't want to do this for a living, this is only for fun, and how much fun is it? How much fun is it to do search for errors and anything that doesn't work all the time? Just put that amount of money you have into buying it finished, and then use the time into something else, like making cool products for customers or something, making money. Sorry, it's my normal rant about making money versus doing things for free and for yourself. And that's fine. It's fine doing things for free. It's not the best idea because you could have used a machine to make money. You will develop the skills and the tools to actually do stuff for people for money, like I do, instead of putting 3 hours into trying to build a machine better than somebody else that is doing this for a living. So yeah, anyway, I'll try to read the chat now. Sorry, I have a page left. Yeah, Russ, just share a YouTube link. No worries. You can also drop it on Discord if you want. Just type exclamation mark Discord and you'll get the invite. 60 by 40 work area is perfectly. You know, my laser cutter is 80 by 60, so it's the laser cutter here. I can take a 80 by 60 centimeter piece of material and throw that into my laser cutter. So a 60 by 40 CNC is just fine for doing normal stuff, but it's a little bit harder to make money on it because when it comes to CNCing stuff, normally customers want big stuff, and when you have a small CNC, then it kind of stops itself. So let's see then. Yeah, true Hivin was around 12,000. Yeah, get it. Whoa, that was trippy. So, I get the logic, and it's the right way to do it, but I want to do it the hard way. Yeah, but I get that with the funds, but you have to think larger. You have to understand that when the amount of money you put into buying a machine, you have to translate that into making money of it later down the road. My CNC machine paid itself off in like 3 months. It's just a matter of understanding, the money part of it. I will check that link later. Hang on. Yeah, I had to answer a phone call. Yeah, 2.2 kilowatt is I guess that's the kind of normal for a medium-sized CNC. The machine I bought as well, it came originally spec'd with a 2.2 kilowatt water cooled, and that's kind of a ballpark. You can see them everywhere. But I just asked for one up. I always do that. So and the 3 kilowatt was one up. So But you can IQ Workshop. You can buy a finished VFD for not that much money. Look at that Voronoi pattern. It starts looking awesome. Look what I got. I got some food. I'll be right back. Run away. Big stuff flying around. So I'm almost finished eating. I just wanted to throw down a sandwich. No worries. I'm back in like 1 minute. Enjoy your meetings. You know, if you look closely at that camera, you can see all the stuff being inside of the pipe, the air pipe from the vacuum. You can see things flying up and down inside the pipe from the airflow. Yeah, it looks like somebody's skydiving inside there. So, yeah, but if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. We can, of course, also cover it on the stream, but you're streaming right now. So. I'll actually try to assemble this on stream. I have no idea on how to assemble it yet. I just decided. I was planning on maybe doing glue and nail gun from underneath. The only big problem with the nail gun is you have to be very, very precise so you don't shoot outside of the tiny materials. But I can see here's Ross CNC machine. Looks awesome. Nicely built. Two two emergency stops. That's more than I have. I have only one in that other room. Yeah, no worries. I'll speak to you later, Steve. Yeah, it will be. If you just put the money into it and have the room for it, then you can have it in a couple of months, I guess. I usually just disappear from streams. When I say something in the chat, and after a while something else happens, and I just vanish. Or I go into creep mode. I'm not sure if I should take the chance and go in there. Probably gonna get hit by something. It looks pretty nice. Oh, it haven't cut this yet. That's a bad thing, because if that is the last thing to be cut, it will break off before it's finished. I have to fix this. How should I fix it? Oh, there's a piece floating there. Raz, you should definitely check out IQ Workshop's stream. Just click on the neck and follow him on Twitch. I forgot to say that all the time, sorry. But definitely check out his stream. He's making stuff all the time, so very cool. Oh, another bit flying up. I bet this will work. I need something else that works better, and I need it fast. Super fast. Before the machine comes over here. Come with us. If you want to live. Run away. It's flying. I'll turn off the vacuum cleaner. To be honest, I'm going to pause the machine here for a little bit and do some housekeeping, because some of the pieces are already loose. And if you don't remove them, they might get cut from other stuff. They do have to also work. good enough. Oh, it does. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just clamping down the material, because when it cuts the last part here, then it's not gonna get held in place by the clamps on the sides anymore, and it will come loose. And that sucks. So let's start the machine again. Warming up the spindle. Spindle is hot. Let's go. Oh, that's an interesting camera angle. Turning on the vacuum again. No, I don't actually. When you do streaming, that helps because it's basically a large marketing campaign. And yeah, if you have a good website, that helps. Being active on social media, that helps. And knowing people also helps. So just if you stream, that helps a lot. Of course, other stuff helps as well. But having a good website is very important. So if you want to use, in the old days, people used a lot of money to have they call it a storefront, when you have your store in the first floor of a building, so people can walk inside and say hi and see you actively and visit. These days, the people used to pay a lot of money for that, and they still do somewhere. But these days, having a good website is so much more important than having a good storefront. So if you want to use your money somewhere, use your money on the best website you could buy or make or whatever. Looking into making, letting someone that has better skills than you on making websites help you is a good thing, and it will create much more return of investment in the long run. So, if I would choose one thing to get more sales, that would be having a good website. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, but the business will come when you. At first, everything is slow, but when you have the tools and the skill set of doing stuff, then people will see that at some point. If you are good at telling people that what you do, be active on social media. Be active with your friends. Show them what you do. let them follow along the road you're taking and see how your skill set evolves as you do your stuff. And business will come as well. Because most of the business is from people you know. So knowing people and making sure that the people you know actually knows where to call when they need something helps a lot, I guess. Yeah. Everything starts as a side story. That camera didn't see much. HP and Microsoft was invented in a garage as a side story. Yeah, it's just a matter of how much time you put into it, I guess. That looks better. Better. It was a small bit being not carved out. Well, it's a bigger bit not being carved out here. for some stupid reason, the CNC forgot to do this. That sucks. Let's see if we can only do that one. Yeah, but the other ones looks pretty awesome. This is just a one-off, so I'll try and fix the last there. Yeah, I'll see what the best solution would be. You can see there's one piece left that did get carved out, so unfortunately, but sometimes this will look cool when it's finished. So, let's see then if we can fix it somehow. I wonder if I have a picture-in-picture. Well, that was big picture-in-picture. was not what I was looking for. Well, let's just make one. Let's make a new scene, call it Pip. What happened to the screen? Sorry. Yeah, we were making a lot. Oh, that was the wrong one. Where's the right one? Arg. That's the right one. And then we need the scene with my computer screen. There we go. Then we need to put the camera above. Like that. Ta-da! And then we can go back into the design and fix it. There we go. Let's see what happened. Did I forget to post the... Why? There is line pairs, which should have done its job. No reason why it should... Oh, no, there it is. Now there's your problem. Okay, let's duplicate. And then just do this. Edit. Contour selection. It was a manual fault. I forgot to click the contour. There we go. And then we just run this post. Post. Yeah, let's go. Hey ho, let's go. Let's call it hey ho. And then just drop that into... Ta-da! Then we do a manual calibration of the machine. So the cool thing now would be to assemble this. But first, let's run this. Run it. Let's cut it. We're cutting. Oh my god, we're cutting it. It sounds right. One little click error. I missed selecting one contour line inside the CAD program, inside Fusion. And then that set me back like, I don't know, 15 minutes. Because I have to do this manually again. And of course, there's a big risk of failure when you do this the second time around. almost there now. And it's finished, hopefully. It looks awesome! Look at that. So the next big thing would be to assemble it. That is truly a big thing. But yeah, we're getting there. It's starting to look awesome. Just doing some manual cleanup. Half of the work is making the thing, and half of the work is cleaning up after we're making the thing. So, I guess that's just how it is. So many small pieces. Can any of you put pieces together? Almost there now. And now for some vacuum cleaning. This is going to look so freaking awesome. On the back side of the what? This is too short. I think this is too short. Oh, it's not. It's just perfect. So there are going to be white acrylic on the back side of this and lead light. So it's going to be lit up. And these are separators that's going inside. They're probably going to tip down everything. Bring something like that. Ish. Probably not the right place, but get something like that. Fuck. And something to hold that together while I test it. Maybe I should just start mounting it. Yeah, let's do that. So I have to turn off the stream for a little bit because I have to go find my nail gun. So I'll be probably back later to mount this, assemble it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a little bit. Actually, I'll just let the stream run. I'll be back in like 10 minutes.